Hey guys, how's it going? I've mentioned a lot over the years that I have no intention of ever trying to publish any of my writing. I even made a video like 6 years ago called Why I'm Not Publishing My Books. But I've been writing for a long time and my writing has changed a lot, and my feelings about writing and my feelings about being a writer have changed a lot. And I've been kind of wondering lately, is that still the case? So today's video is kind of just thinking out loud about it, getting my thoughts in order, kind of just having a discussion. And I do want this to be a discussion, so feel free to chime in the comments down below. Last time the comment section was so much fun. There were so many different people sharing like their ideas and their perspective and like how their feelings kind of wrapped up in all of it, and it was so much fun. I actually rewatched that video the other day just to kind of see if I still have any of the same thoughts or like if any bigger things have changed that I just don't remember. I'll link it in the description and the cards if you're curious, but I'll reiterate the main points and see whether or not they still hold true. I feel like my main... Hi, Comet! What? Hello? My main point that I kept coming back to is that I didn't want to be an author, like, as a career. Having to rely on something as unpredictable as writing and creativity to pay my bills doesn't sound nice. I'm single, I only have my own income, I have a mortgage, and I have pets I'm responsible for. Like, just financially, that seems like a bad decision and way too stressful. And having all of the deadlines and pressure of writing while also having to work another full-time job alongside of it, that's just way too much. I feel like that's a recipe for burnout and resentment of my own writing. It's not a career that would suit me or my life, even if I was lucky enough to be successful. I love writing. I love creating stories. I love brainstorming. I love the art and the craft of like writing itself. But I don't enjoy marketing and branding and all of the selling the book aspect of it. Writing a book, and as huge and as hard as that is only step one of a very long process. Even after writing and revisions and rewriting and editing over and over and over again, you've barely just begun. For traditional publishing, you still need to get signed by an agent and then sell that book to publishers. It's a very long and rejection-filled process that takes years before anybody even outside the industry might read your book. And then after all of that time and rejection and failure, will I still love my book? Like, am I the type of person that can let that just roll off my back and get right back to writing and still love it? And self-publishing has different hurdles, but now all of the marketing and non-writing related book selling stuff would now rest on my shoulders. I'd have to do everything myself, pay for everything myself, figure out this bonkers industry on my own. Like, none of that sounds like something that I want. If I dreamed of being an author, if that really was my ultimate goal, all of that crazy stuff might be worth it. But if that's not something that I want with my whole heart, is it worth it? My overall conclusion in the video was that a writing career wasn't for me, the pressure of writing made it a lot less fun for me, and that if I really did want to share my books with friends or family someday, I could always just print them out a copy when I print out my own copies. I said something along the lines of, I like the process of writing and I like the accomplishment of having written a story, but I don't need anything more than that to be happy and satisfied with my writing. But it's been over half a decade, and I've been kind of wondering lately, is that still enough? One big thing that had me questioning was that I wasn't positive whether my decision was coming from a place of fear and insecurity or not. And I will admit that's definitely part of it. Publishing is scary. Rejection is scary. You need a certain amount of confidence and thick skin to put yourself out there like that. And while fear shouldn't be something that holds you back, it doesn't mean that just because you're afraid of something, it's a sign that you have to do it. Like, I think that skydiving sounds scary. And if it's something that I wanted to do, if I thought that pushing myself in that way or going on that adventure, having that thrill was something that I wanted, something that would improve my life, something that would improve me as a person, then yes, I should push through that fear and try it. But I have no interest in skydiving. I don't particularly want to jump out of a plane. I don't think I would get anything from it. I would do bungee jumping, but skydiving I'm just not interested in. It also happens to be scary, but that fear isn't preventing me from accomplishing a goal. It's not something I have to push through. It's just, I'm afraid of this thing that I also just don't really want to do. I'm a big fan and practitioner of if you can't beat fear, do it scared. And I do that all the time. Sometimes we have fear surrounding a goal and you have to push through that fear to achieve the goal if it's something that you want. But sometimes fear is just fear. And it's okay to just be afraid and carry on with your life without ever having to do anything about it. If I truly wanted this, I wouldn't let the fear stop me. But I don't want it. That being said though, the fear was holding me back from sharing my writing in general. And that fear is something to push back against because that is something that I realized I want to do. And I have been intentionally pushing against that. When the subject of writing comes up with my friends, I'll mention that I like writing and I won't hide that part of myself anymore. When I have bookish people over and I'm showing off my home library, I don't take my books off and like hide them on a lower shelf or put them behind something. I'll point them out and say, hey, I wrote that and I printed it out for myself. Like, isn't that cool? Because it is. It is freaking cool. It doesn't matter that they're not published. I wrote freaking books. That's amazing. And even here on AuthorTube, a lot of times I would feel a little sense of insecurity talking about my writing because I felt like everyone else was talking about it in the context of pursuing publishing, in the context of having this career and sharing this book in that way, and I didn't. So I felt like, well, why would I even talk about writing if I don't intend to publish this book? Like, who even cares? And you know what? I don't know who cares. This is the internet. Like, I've been talking about more specifics with my story, giving some more details, not being so like shy and vague. Obviously I'm still vague because I don't want to like spoil the whole ending or anything like that. But that was another thing that kind of made me think, like, if I never actually wanted to share this with anybody, why does it matter that I'm spoiling it for strangers? And going hand in hand with that, another thing that kind of really changed my perspective was getting beta readers for the first time. It was my first time sharing a book that I wrote with someone that I didn't know. Most of them were AuthorTube or online friends, but a few were basically strangers. It was terrifying, like I was anxious the entire time. But it was so much fun. Having people read my book, react to the story was so cool. Keeping the reader in mind when I'm dropping clues or doing a reveal or writing a really clever line that I'm proud of. Like, there's a second source of joy at the thought of somebody experiencing that. And for a while, I thought that all of those feelings were telling me that that means I need to pursue publishing. I'll admit I've daydreamed about becoming a best-selling successful author and everybody loves my books and all of that stuff. But I've also daydreamed about winning the lottery and buying my own nature reserve and living all alone in a giant forest. But that's probably not as perfect in reality as it is in my head, and I'm not gonna go out and buy a lottery ticket. Some dreams are just fun to dream about, and it's okay if they end there. You don't have to go big or go home every single time. I think sometimes with writing specifically, it's easy to forget that there's other ways to share your books. If you're passionate about baking cookies, you don't need to open up your own bakery. You could submit them to a bake sale, you can bring them to a potluck, you could work with a local cafe. I feel like with writing, a lot of people have the idea that officially publishing something, whether that's self-publishing or traditionally publishing, is the only way to share your stories. But there's so many other smaller ways. I can print out a physical copy and share it with my parents. I can have a little book club with my other writer friends where we all read each other's stories. I can share it with friends, my real life friends and online friends. And since I talk about my writing online, I would like to share it with the community and have people actually, know what I'm talking about if they stumble across it. I think that 6 or 7 years ago, this part didn't seem fun to me. But I think that I've grown and realized that sharing my work is fun, and that it is something I want to pursue. I want to be able to talk about specific things and have people actually know what I'm talking about. I want to hear if people picked up on Easter eggs, or if a sad scene made them cry too. I want to hear about their headcanons and their ships and their perspectives. I want to know how they react to a major plot twist. That sounds like so much fun. But I don't need the book to be officially published for that to happen. I can print copies out myself, I can post them casually somewhere, whatever. And also, I don't need to know the specifics right now. The book isn't finished. I think a big part of me was stressing that I didn't have all of the answers right now, but I'm not ready to share the book right now. I still have at least another round of revisions to do before I'm even ready for another round of beta readers. I don't need to know the best platform and methods for sharing a book right now. I just need to know, do I intend to share it, and on how big of a scale? And I think that what I've kind of come to realize is that I do want to share it. I think that sounds like a lot of fun, and I don't need it to be on a big scale. All of the things that bring me excitement about sharing my story right now are smaller scale things. I don't need to be on an international bestseller list to hear what my best friends think about my plot twist. I don't need book deals and marketing to be able to show my dad, hey, remember how you used to read to me all the time as a kid? Look what I did. So I guess somehow I landed at pretty much the same place I did 6 years ago. I like the idea of casually sharing my writing, and I'm definitely more comfortable and excited about the prospect than I was before. But writing is still a hobby and a passion, not a career goal. And if I change my mind someday, I'm totally allowed to do that. But for now, this feels right. Still. On one hand, it makes this video feel incredibly pointless that I waited 6 years and had all this discussion to basically end at the exact same place. But I think that really just says that it is still the right decision for me. And I think that sometimes it's good to check in and see if you do still feel the same and see if you are still working in line with your goals and your passions and what feels right. And to be fair, I didn't go into this video intending to change my mind. I went into this video hoping for clarity on what I was actually thinking and to kind of just get all of the clutter out of my head and really honestly reflect. And I did that. And I think these types of discussions are important. I think that especially with writing, a lot of the discussion of options or ideas on how to be a writer revolve around how you want to publish, not if you want to publish. But there are other options. It's not just about publishing. You can be a casual writer, you can be a very serious writer who just doesn't want to publish, anything in between. And I think that just talking about this and having more options on the table is something that I think is beneficial. But all that being said, let me know your thoughts down below. I feel like this type of discussion is just so fun to have in a community. And I really want to know other people's perspectives. Like, are you a hobby writer? Do you want to publish? Are you already published? Are you not a writer at all and you're just curious? Or you have a different hobby that has like something similar that you can relate to? I think this is such a fun and important topic, so I'd love to keep the discussion going. But that's going to be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, please click the like button to let me know. It is very helpful. And subscribe to stay up to date with the rest of my videos and see if I change my mind in another 6 years. I post new videos once a week, usually reading or writing related. So I hope to see you guys next time, and until then, have a great day. Bye!